Hello students, in this video we are going to study different basic ICT skills. ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. So here we are going to study different topics like introduction to ICT, and after that hardware and software devices. What are the types of hardware and software devices we have? Primary and secondary memory, input, output and storage devices. Then next topic, various peripheral devices, and after that operating system, types of operating system we have, and what are the functions of an operating system, that we will also study. And last topic is files and folders. So what is a file and how we are going to use the files with the file extension, that we are going to cover in this complete video. So let's begin with the first topic, introduction to ICT. ICT basically stands for Information and Communication Technology. The full form of ICT is Information and Communication Technology. ICT takes up knowledge of how computer works as well as how different computers communicate. So ICT basically is a branch where we are going to study the different information and communication technologies, the basic things which a person needs to use the computer to communicate with different to use the computer with other computer also. So ICT takes up knowledge of how computer work. It means whatever we are going to do in a computer, it comes under ICT, and how we are going to communicate with the other computers with the help of internet or any other medium, that also comes under the ICT. So let's view some examples of the ICT in our daily life, which how we are using it in the daily life. Paying utility bills, whatever the bills which we are paying at home, it may be electricity, it may be a water bill, so that is the use of ICT. Gaining knowledge from website like Wikipedia, if we are visiting a website, if we are surfing anything on the internet to gain knowledge, it means we are using the ICT. Taking online classes, as we all do every day through Google Meet, Zoom app, etc. So it is also an example of ICT because it makes use of the ICT. Booking train and flight tickets online. If we are booking a train or a flight ticket, it means we are using a ICT device, we are using the ICT technology, so it again come under the ICT examples. Working from home, whatever work if we are doing from home with the help of internet and mobile or laptop, it means we are making use of the ICT to do our job also. So now the thing arises that what are the tools which are required to have the facility of ICT. ICT means we have to use certain devices, certain technology by which we are going to communicate with the other people. So basic devices, as you all know, the mobile phone, the tablet, the radio. Radio was a device of communication before many years ago, but now it is not of much use. But long back it was the main medium of communication. And TV, television, you all have been using television every day. And email stands for electronic mail. Electronic mail means if we are sending a mail electronically through the use of internet, by the use of internet, it means electronic mail. So we have different mail servers like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, and we all are using mails to communicate with each other. So this is the, now we have four important devices, as you all know, and we are all using these devices every day. Monitor, we have four devices in a computer system. So these four devices are, the first one is the monitor, which is an output device. Second one is the mouse we all use, and this I am using the mouse here to point out this. And keyboard is also a input device which is used to give input in the form of alphabets and numbers. And the system cabinet, which is the most important device, it is the processing unit. So we have four important devices in a computer system. Next topic is the hardware and software. The computer comprises of two things, hardware and software. So first of all, what are the hardwares? Hardwares are those devices which we can see and touch. All those devices which we can see with our eyes and touch are known as hardware devices. अब क्या एग्जांपल हो सकते हैं? एग्जांपल आर motherboard, network card, sound card, keyboard, mouse, speakers. These all devices we can see with our eyes as well as we can touch also them. So these all devices are known as hardware devices. While on the other hand, the devices which we can't see, which didn't have any physical appearance, so those devices are known as the software. So those things are known as the software. Means a software is a type of program. It is not a thing which we can touch and see. For example, a game we can't see but it is there. It has a memory space but we can't see it. So this is the basic difference between a hardware and a software. So next, moving on to the next topic is computer memory. We all know that computer have all the information stored in the form of memory in that. Like our brain, we have the memory, all the things are stored in the brain. So now computer also has a memory, has a space which is known as the computer memory. All the things whatever there are in the computer, these all things are stored in this computer memory. So we have classified it basically into two types. The computer memory, we have classified it basically into two types. First one is the primary memory and second one is the secondary memory. So these are the two types of memories. First of all, we will study the primary memory. What is the difference between in these two memories? Why we have classified it? So let's move on to the primary memory. So primary memory is basically electronic memory. It has its existence only when the computer is switched on. It means that it is a volatile memory. As soon as the power supply is switched off, all the data in this memory get lost. So it has two parts, RAM and ROM. These memory hold data when the computer is on state. Means that when the computer, when we have the electricity supply in the computer, then only this memory has data on it. RAM is quickly accessible by the computer. So as compared to the secondary memory, primary memory is much more quickly accessible by the computer. So all the data input and output in this memory has a greater fast speed as compared to the secondary memory. All the data that have to be worked upon by the computer have to be brought into primary memory, especially RAM. तो जितना भी काम कंप्यूटर को करना होगा, whatever the things which a computer wants to do, it has to keep put all the things into the RAM first and then we are working on it. Suppose whatever we are doing in a mobile phone or in a computer, all the things which we are working on, they all are present in the RAM and not in the hard disk. So hard disk is a secondary memory space and all the things which are performed in the computer are done in RAM only. ROM stands for read-only memory. Now ROM is also a part of primary memory. These are the small chips which are contained in the CPU and it contains a chip in which some booting steps are stored. So whatever the information which are stored, which are required at the time of booting up, booting means the starting of a computer when the operating system is loaded. At that time we require some important information, some important steps. That all steps are contained in this ROM chips and these are contained at the time of manufacturing. These all are placed at the time of manufacturing. Next one is the secondary memory. Secondary memory is basically magnetic memory or optical or flash memory, but do not electronic. Means this memory is not electronic. It means that if we switch off the computer, this memory has its existence after that also. So this memory, we are not going to lose this memory anyhow. And secondary memory is long-term storage of information. Means the information is stored after the power supply is switched off. Also for many years we can store the information if we are not deleting it. That is why primary memory is small in size and secondary memory is mostly larger in size, usable for long-term storage. So if we compare the size of primary and secondary memory, so the primary memory is much less in size and secondary memory is much more in size. You know that the hard disks today are coming of 1 TB, whereas the RAM is limited to 8 GB or 16 GB in a computer. So this is the vast difference between the memory space of both the memories. The most important secondary storage device is the hard disk. This is the most important secondary storage device. We all know that every computer or a laptop consists of a hard disk in which all the things, all the data of the computer are stored. Normally placed within the system cabinet, this hard disk is being placed in the system cabinet. Now we have many other secondary devices also, like CDs, DVDs, flash drive. Flash drive means pen drive, which we are using as a portable device for some exchange of data. So that is known as the pen drive. CD is also an example of secondary memory devices. So the data is not deleted until we are not going to delete it. So these are the differences between the primary and secondary memory. Next topic is input devices. So you all have studied before the input devices, but still we are going to revise it again, that input devices are those which are helpful in giving the input to the computer. Means those devices which are used to give input to the computer are known as the input devices. So input devices are those hardware devices that take input from the external world. Example: mouse, keyboard, joystick, scanner, light pen, and touch screen. These all are the examples of input devices. All these input devices are connected to the system cabinet that takes the input and processes the output. So all these input devices are connected to the system cabinet. System cabinet means CPU. These all devices are connected to the CPU, and all the information are going into the CPU, and after the processing, the information comes to the output devices. Next one is the storage devices, means the devices which are used to store the information. So a CD, a pen drive, all these are known as the storage devices. When we say something, save something on a drive, on a computer, it gets saved in the hard disk or any of the storage devices. So all these input devices are connected, and these storage devices are also helpful in storing different type of data. Output devices are hardware of the computer that produces output to be consumed by the external world. Means the output devices are these output devices are basically used to get output from the user in the form of information. These are very important, as whatever information we want to get from the computer are delivered by these devices only. ये इतने important होते हैं because every information, any type of information like a hard copy or a monitor, still we are working on a computer only with the help of monitor, because monitor अगर नहीं होगा, then we are not we didn't know that what we are doing in a computer. So that is the basic output device. First important output device is monitor, then we have the printer. So these devices are equally important as input device. Example: monitor, printer, speakers, plotters, etc. Now comes the next topic: various peripheral devices and their use. So what are the peripheral devices? First of all, we'll study that. This is used to draw figures on the screen. As you can see in the image here, you might have seen the use of light pen during cricket matches used by cricket commentators to describe the field position. So it is basically a device by which we can mark on any screen. So the light pen is sensitive with the screen. So this device is known as a light pen. Next one is plotters. Plotters is a type of large printers. These are used to draw precise pictures used in engineering applications. So you can see the image of the plotter here. The figure in plotters is drawn using a pen. So these are the plotters. This is a device, and this is working on a very large page. Next one is the joystick. A joystick is basically used in playing games. So this is also an input device, and it is used to play games on a computer. So for navigating in a game, these joysticks are helpful in 360 degree directions. So this is a input device, and it is basically used in the gaming purpose. Next one is microphone. Microphone is the full form of mic, which we say this is an input device in the device in which I am speaking, that is also a mic. It takes sound as input and may do anything with the sound in principle. In short, it is also known as mic. So you all know that you all are using the microphones at your home with the in mobile phones and laptops. So these are the images of microphones you have been seen. It is an input device which is used to take sound. Next one is the speaker. So speaker is an output device which gives us sound. You all listen song with the help of speaker only. This is an output device. It produces sound output from the computer. It is particularly useful when watching a movie or listening to a song on the computer. So every computer has speakers, and in the television also you have the speakers embedded in your telephone. In the mobile phone also we have small speakers inside the mobile phone. So these are the devices which are used to give the output. You can see the image here of speakers. So these are the speakers which are used to give output of sound. Various devices we have now. Scanner. So scanner is a device which is an input device, and it takes input in the form of a paper. It takes the input with the help of paper. Means if we want to scan something, we have to place it in a scanner, and it reads the data and convert into digital form, which we can see in the monitor. So this is one of the most important input device nowadays. It is used to get the digital version of a physical object. Any paper we have, if we want that paper that it should come in the mobile phone or computer, we have to use the scanner as input device. Next is the webcam. So this is a camera which comes affixed with most of the laptops. सभी लैपटॉप में पहले से लगा हुआ होता है ये कैमरा, and in your mobile phone also you have a small camera. So जो आपके मोबाइल फोन में कैमरा होता है, same camera is there in the laptop also, and that is known as the webcam. So it is used to record videos. So it is also a peripheral device. Next one is the printer. You all know it is an output device. If you want the hard copy of a certain document, किसी भी document की hard copy चाहिए तो वो हमें printer की help से ही मिलेगी. So we have to look upon printer to print the provided document we have. So this is basically used to print the hard copy of the soft copy which we have inside the computer. Next topic is the operating system. Means what is an operating system and what are the features and functions of an operating system. What is the use of operating system? So first of all, we will study that what is an operating system. Operating system is a software running on the computer. It acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. यानी कि ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम एक सॉफ्टवेयर है. इट इज अ टाइप ऑफ सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर एंड इट इज हेल्पफुल इन doing the work. It acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. It is the most important software of computer that makes computer usable by the user of the computer. ये सबसे important सॉफ्टवेयर होता है जिसकी हेल्प से यूजर कंप्यूटर को यूज में ले पाता है. So this is the most important software in a computer system. So let's study the टास्क डन बाय द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के क्या क्या काम होते हैं. फर्स्ट वन इज प्रोसेस क्रिएशन. इट मीन्स दैट वट एवर द प्रोसेसेस, वट एवर द सॉफ्टवेयर विच वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इन अ कंप्यूटर आर ऑल डन बाय द दिस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. प्रोसेस टर्मिनेशन. जब एक प्रोसेस स्टार्ट होगा तो प्रोसेस खत्म भी होगा, एंड उसको बोलेंगे प्रोसेस टर्मिनेशन. मीन्स स्टॉपिंग अ प्रोसेस. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो डन बाय द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. Next one is memory management by process. Means a process is required how much memory, that is also managed by the operating system. Disk space management. Disk space management means we have the space in the hard disk and how much space is required for which thing, that is also decided by the operating system. It makes up the space and it gives us space if we want to store anything in the disk. Peripheral management means managing the input and output devices. All the devices which are input and output devices, and these are managed by the operating system only. Last one is process management, means which process is running and which process is going to complete. These all things are managed by the operating system software only. So these are the basic few tasks of the operating system. Next one is we have different types of operating system, means we have time sharing, we have multiprocessing, we have multi-user, and we have GUI based operating system. So first one is the time sharing operating system. Time sharing क्या होता है? So it is an extension of multi-programming. In this mode, a number of users operate online with the same CPU. Means in this type of operating system, multiple users are operating online with the same CPU. एक ही CPU से बहुत से user online they are operating online, but each uses a different input output terminal. So each devices has a different input output device. Next one is multiprocessing. Multiprocessing occurs when a computer system with two or more processors can run more than one program. Means if a computer system is equipped with two or more processors, then we are saying that we are working on a multiprocessing device. So at a given time, assigning them to different processors means different tasks are done by different multiple processors in a system, that is known as the multiprocessing operating system. Now next one is multi-user operating system, means single computer is being used by multiple devices. So we have also seen multiple times that devices, a single device, a single CPU is running multiple devices, that is known as the multi-user operating system. So the hard disk, the RAM, all the things are shared by all the devices which are connected. Multi-user is a term that defines an operating system that allows access for multiple users to the computer at the same time. Windows and Linux are multi-user operating system. So Windows is the most important multi-user operating system, and we are using it in many organizations. GUI based, it means graphical user interface. So Windows is a type of graphical user interface operating system because we have the mouse, we have different visible objects like icons, and we can easily use this operating system. So the graphical user interface allows user to have direct control of visible objects such as icons and actions that replace complex syntax. यानी कि ये ऐसा ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम होगा जिसके अंदर आइकन्स बने हुए होंगे, जिसमें माउस होगा, जिसकी हेल्प से आप कोई भी चीज़, कोई भी फोल्डर बना सकते हैं, उसमें काम इजीली कर सकते हैं. सो विंडो सबसे अच्छा एग्जांपल है GUI बेस्ड ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का. GUI is used by Apple, Macintosh and Windows operating system. तो Apple का जो Macintosh operating system है और Windows operating system, they are using the GUI operating system. So the last topic is files and folders. You all know that everything in computer system is residing inside the system in the form of memory. So these all are files. Files are used to store information of a computer system. Files are larger in size if information stored in it is large. So files are basically used to store the information in a computer. कोई भी information computer में होगी वो file की form में ही आपको मिलेगी. Often enough, not only the data but also the formatting instructions may be present in a file. Means if a file is containing some data and some formatting instructions like उस file का background क्या है, उस फाइल की बॉर्डर में क्या है, so all these formatting instructions are also present inside the file. All are present in the form of data. For example, a notepad file stores primarily the data only but little bit of formatting, but a word file stored different types of formatting instructions also. So all these instructions are stored in the file itself. So we have two parts. A file has basically two parts, a फाइल नेम एंड अ फाइल एक्सटेंशन. फाइल में हमेशा दो पार्ट्स होंगे, ठीक है, फाइल नेम और फाइल एक्सटेंशन. जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है abc.docs. सो हेयर abc इज द फाइल नेम एंड docs इज द फाइल एक्सटेंशन. pqr.pdf, pqr is the file name and .pdf is the extension. So the extension of a file tells what type of file it is and denotes what type of application it can open under. So these are the basic two parts of a file. So we will study the next topic in the next video.